So thank you guys for being on tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. And if you're not watching live with us, I hope you catch the replay. So I have my notes here because if not, I would squirrel all over the place and I would not talk about my topic. I would be somewhere in left field. So I have my notes. If you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. But tonight's topic is being intentional. So I have been a consultant for almost 2 years now. And this is something that I still struggle with. It is not something that I have mastered by any means. It is a constant struggle in my business. Again, like I said, I'm a squirrel, so my brain is kind of all over the place. So this is something that I have really been working on in my business. It's something that I'm striving to get better at. It's an area of weakness that I have recognized and I want to improve on. So you may be able to relate to some of the things that I say tonight. I hope you can. But I wanted to talk about being intentional. So I took the time to watch trainings from various leaders. That's something that's really important to me, is to soak in other people's perspectives, because it really gives me something to think about. So I've been looking at other leaders and their thoughts on time management, being intentional, and what that looks like for them. Now, it's going to look different for all of us, but in a nutshell, we all should be doing the same things, at least most of the same things. So I'm going to throw two different definitions at you really quick. So busy versus productive. This is where I get stumped. Okay, so the word busy means having a lot to do. We all have a lot to do, some more so than others. Deandra has a child. She has another one on the way very shortly. I do not have children. I have a husband and 2 cats, and a house to take care of. So we all have our own priorities. We all have our own obligations and things that we have going on in our life, and we are all busy. I don't know if anybody can say that they're not busy, right? We find something to fill that time. So being busy is having a lot to do. Being productive, on the other hand, is achieving or producing a significant amount or result. So I don't know about you guys, but I catch myself a lot of times being busy, but not being productive. Like if I have a day off work or over the weekend and I'm around the house, I say, okay, I'm going to get in my office. I'm going to get some work done. I'm going to be productive. Well, the whole day goes by and I'm laying in bed that night and I'm like, what the heck did I get done today? Really? What did I accomplish? I feel like I didn't get anything done. I catch myself doing that a lot, kind of like spinning my wheels. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I find myself having a hard time prioritizing things. I find myself starting a lot of tasks and not finishing them. I get sidetracked. So maybe you can relate to that too. So I'm busy. I'm running around in circles. I'm doing something, but I'm not really being productive. I'm not producing the results as you would measure by being productive. You can be productive in a short amount of time. So that's what I want to talk about tonight. So this business is not designed to be a full-time job. Yes, there are people in Scentsy that do Scentsy full-time, but that is not what this business is designed to be. It was not designed to consume 40 hours. We'll just use that number because that's what we think of when we think of like a full-time job is 40 hours. Scentsy is not meant to take up 40 hours a week. And if you talk to any of our top leaders who are super successful in this business, they will tell you, if you're spending 40 hours a week on your business, you're doing it wrong. Even if you spend 20 hours on your Scentsy business, you are doing it wrong. So they will tell you, even though they do it full time and that it's their full-time job, they don't spend that 40 hours a week out of their week working on Scentsy. So it should not consume all of our time. That's the great thing about Scentsy, is it literally can fit anybody's lifestyle. And I think that's what, I'm sure you guys have heard it too. One of the biggest excuses that we get when we are like trying to sponsor or talk about the opportunity is that I don't have time. That was my biggest excuse. You can ask Beth, she'll tell you the same thing. I told her that several times. I don't have time. I think that's a lot of people's excuse. But what they don't realize is this business can really work for anybody. It's not a side gig that's going to consume so much time that they're going to have to neglect their family or their spouse or their other job. It's not like that. It shouldn't be like that. I think we overcomplicate it and we think that we have to do all of the things when we really don't. So it can fit any lifestyle. So if you decide that you want to be a leader and you want to sponsor, it is our responsibility to let people see that. Because Scentsy, you can work it whenever you want. So if you want to get up early out of bed, or if you want to stay up until midnight after the kids have gone to sleep and work your business, you can. There is no wrong or right time to work it. You can work it wherever you want, right? We have our cell phones with us all the time. If you have this with you, you got your business right at your fingertips. So you can work it wherever you want and however you want. Okay, it is totally up to you. That's the beauty of Scentsy, is that there is no wrong or right way to do it. And we have the freedom to work that business and fit it into our lifestyle. And it eventually, when you get into the groove of things, it fits into your life just like any other part of our life. Okay. I always say, and this is what I tell people who are on the fence about joining, if it's important to you, you will find the time. Okay. You find the time to scroll Facebook. You find the time to watch TV. Okay. You find the time for what is important to you. And if you want big things out of this business, and I'm not talking like a 6-figure paycheck, I'm talking big things as like an extra tank of gas, able to take your family on vacation, whatever. If you want something out of this business, you have to treat it like a business. It's not something that you can pick up, put back down, pick up, put back down. We're all guilty of it. I'm sure we have days where we just really don't feel like working, and that's okay. Those feelings are very valid, but you can't totally just drop your business and expect to go back 2 months later and pick it up and expect it to be right where it was when you left it. So if you want this business to bless you, you have to treat it like a business. And if you just want to do it for a hobby, just for an outlet, that is perfectly okay too. So you really need to dig deep and examine exactly what you want out of this business, because that's going to kind of gauge how you need to work this business. So in order to work this business without it consuming you, without it becoming overwhelming, stressing you out, burning you out, you have to be intentional with the things that you are doing. And I think this is where I really got stumped, is that I didn't for the longest time have a game plan. I wanted to do all the things. I wanted to make all of the graphics. I wanted to have the cutest happy mail. I wanted to go above and beyond and do all the extra stuff. And I think that's where I was getting caught up. I felt like if I didn't do all those things, I wasn't as good as the other Scentsy consultants, or that my customers would choose somebody else because they sent out cute happy mail. But if I didn't send it out, they would move on for me. So I kind of got caught in that comparison game. It's super easy to do, and it's something that's kind of hard to get out of. I'm very bad for that in all aspects of life, is comparing myself. So I really had to learn to be intentional. Okay. Intentional with my time, intentional with all of the things that I did. It's still a work in progress. I still have a lot to learn and a long way to go. But that is the first step of moving towards being intentional with your business, is recognize it and taking those baby steps to change your mindset and the way that you work. So the definition of intentional is done on purpose. It's deliberate. So I want you to think of that. Everything you do in this business needs to have a purpose behind it. Okay. You need to have a purpose for everything that you do. If you don't have a purpose, number one, you're wasting your time. Number two, you're adding a lot of things to your to-do list that you could cut out. And it's really not helping you succeed in your business. So everything you do needs to have a purpose. And so whenever you start to do a task, I want you to stop and ask yourself, what is this going to do for my business? Is it necessary for my business? How is this going to help me in my business? And is it something that I need to continue to do? Or is it that fluff, which I'll talk about in a minute, that I need to cut out? Okay. I'm trying to do that too. It's a hard thing, hard mindset to get behind, but I'm trying to work on that. So being intentional means doing things with purpose and being deliberate when you do them. So cut the fluff. And we hear that all the time from Scentsy leaders. Cut the fluff, cut the fluff, cut the fluff, because your most successful Scentsy leaders don't do all that stuff. You will hear Chloe Cox talk about she hates people to waste their time making like cleaning baskets. I like cleaning baskets and they've really helped my business. So, that's her opinion. But she has a point where if it's not like growing your business, if it's not bringing you income, if it's not helping you, cut it out. Just because somebody else is doing it, maybe it's successful for them, but if it's not successful for you, don't feel like you have to measure up to everything that they're doing. And like making graphics. I love to make graphics. It makes me happy. It's just mindless entertainment for me, but it is time consuming. And I know Casey does a lot with graphics too. And she would probably agree. It is time consuming. It's fun. I like to do it. It makes you personable, but it is time consuming. So there are some ways that we may be able to cut out some of that, which we will talk about a little bit later on. So cutting the fluff. So when you ask yourself, is it bringing value to your business? And you say, not really, it's not bringing me income. Okay, that's one of those things that you may need to move to the bottom of your to-do list. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the IPAs. So we hear that a lot, but some of the newer consultants may not know what IPA stands for. So IPA is income producing activity. So let's face it, most people get into this business to make extra income. Most people do. Okay. We wouldn't be putting forth all of this effort and hustling our behinds off to not get that income in return. That's most people. Maybe that's not the only reason you do Scentsy, but that's a big driving force behind it. So focus on things that are going to bring you income. Those things that bring you income are the same things that are going to help grow your business and take you to the next level. Now, if you are here for a hobbyist and you just do Scentsy here and there, maybe you just want to buy for yourself or let your friends and family buy for you or buy from you, this may not apply to you. But if you really want to work this as a business and see a big return from it, you have to start focusing on the things that will bring you income, the things that will grow your business. So I want you to focus on the 3 legs of success. Okay. You've heard Chloe talk about this many times, and all of this, it all ties together in all aspects of our business, the 3 legs of success. So those are sales, sponsoring, and coaching. Now, some people come into this wanting to make it a business, but have no desire to sponsor. Again, if that's not you, you can skip over this next little bit. But first, I want to talk about sales. Sales are the heart of our business. You don't have a business if you don't have sales. Okay. If you don't have sales, you don't even need to worry about sponsoring, because you cannot promote without sales. You're never going to be able to take your business to that next level if your sales are not where they need to be. As a leader, we have to have at least 500 PRV a month. And it seems like the higher you go in rank, it seems like the more you have to bring to the table. If that's the way to say it, like you feel like your PRV needs to be higher than that. Maybe that's just like an expectation I put on myself. I'm not sure. But sales, that is going to be your first priority. Okay. So ways we can improve our sales: partying, obviously. Okay. We're in the party business. I have a whole YouTube video on different types of parties, and there's bukus of them on YouTube. So I'm not going in depth to all of these things. So partying, that's the best and easiest way to get sales. Follow-ups. Okay. I'm going to circle back around to follow-ups in just a minute. But follow-ups, those get you those repeat customers. Okay. Sampling, but sampling and following up with those samples. Again, I'm going to circle back around to sampling in just a minute. Customer service, again, that's the heart of the business. If you have good customer service, that's going to keep your customers coming right back to you. And sharing consistently. So we have new product launches all the time. If you're not sharing them, guess what? No one's going to buy them from you because they don't know you have something new coming out. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Nicole. So you have to share consistently. Keyword is consistently. You can't just do it here and there. Okay. Sharing consistently. So that's the sales leg. Okay. Next we have sponsoring. So sponsoring includes sharing the opportunity, sharing your story, building personal relationships, networking. So getting involved in organizations in your community, getting involved with organizations at your child's school, whatever that might be, creating a dream team list and planting those seeds. Even though you may not see income coming off of those tasks immediately, when you're planting those seeds, when you're sharing the opportunity, when you're building those relationships, that's going to bring you future party hosts. It's going to bring you potential teammates. And it is going to potentially take your business to the next level. So you may not see it produce income per se immediately, but down the road, when you have planted those seeds and those seeds start to grow and you reap those seeds, then you will see that hard work pay off. And then coaching. So if you are a leader, this is a big part of leadership, something that I have been struggling with lately, if I'm being completely honest. But having a system in place to coach your team, offering trainings. It doesn't have to be a long training. Like Casey has been doing some really neat like pop-in trainings on the Ascending Scents group. They're not long trainings, but the information is great. And it's just like informal. She just pops on. You know, you can do that with your team too. It does not have to be a Zoom link and all like staged. And I mean, you can see what a disaster my office is right now. It does not have to be that. Okay. If you're making samples, share with your team how you're making them. Things like that. Because when your team succeeds, you succeed as a leader. Okay. If you are not helping your team be successful, guess what? You're not going to be successful. If my team was not successful, I wouldn't be where I am today, right? Okay. Recognition. Now, this is one that you may say, that I may can do without that. That's not my top priority. But that is where it comes to building relationships with your teammates. So if you know your teammates' love language is like words of affirmation, and you know that just shouting them out in your group page encourages them and kind of builds them up and gives them that little pep in their step that they need, take a few minutes and do that. Because again, if they feel encouraged, they're going to work their business, and in turn, you're going to receive benefits from that as well. And then connecting with your team. You can't be a leader that sponsors all of these people and then just never talks to them again. You have to be connecting with them. You have to be connecting with them on a personal level. They are not just a number. They are not just here to help you advance to the next level. They're not just here for you to have a bigger paycheck. So I hope and pray no one on our team ever thinks of sponsoring in that way, because that truly is not why we should sponsor. So if you focus on those three areas, your sales, your sponsoring, and your your coaching, excuse me, you will see your business grow. Those are income producing activities. Those are things that will make your business thrive. Those are things that will help you promote. Those are things that will help you have that bigger paycheck that you want. Okay. But the three legs of success, you know, at the top of the stools, and the picture that Chloe and Justin created is the picture of the stool. Those were the three legs, and at the top is self-care. So first and foremost, we have to take care of ourselves, right? I just got a message that said my internet was unstable. Can you guys still hear me okay? I just want to make sure I haven't gone anywhere. Okay, I'm back. Good. All right, so you have to take care of yourself first and foremost. We hear the saying all the time, you cannot pour from an empty cup. And I think that's why I have been in such a funk lately. It's because like I just wasn't in the right headspace. I was getting a little overwhelmed in my business. I felt like I wasn't doing enough. And when I felt like that, that kind of had the opposite effect and made me want to do even less, if that makes sense. Like I just kind of got defeated. Again, I was comparing myself. I didn't feel like I was being the leader that I needed to be. And so I needed to step back and take care of myself first and get myself in the right headspace before I could move on and take care of my team. Because if I'm not in the right place, or if you're not in the right place, you're not going to be able to lead your team efficiently. Okay, so self-care is crucial. That looks different for all of us. So find your thing where you can just relax and woo-saw and get your thoughts together and then come back. Okay. So a few minutes ago, I talked about the fluff and cutting the fluff out of our business. I want you to think about fluff, kind of compare it to volunteering. Okay. Volunteering is nice. It makes you feel good about yourself when you volunteer. You're working, but you're not making income. Okay. You're working, but you're not making income. That's what the fluff is. Yes, it makes your business look all cute. Yes, the confetti adds a nice little personal touch. Yes, the Facebook banners recognizing your team is great, but that is fluff. That is not something that's bringing you money, income producing. It's like volunteering. You're working, but you're not getting any income back on it. So those things, I'm not saying cut those out of your business completely. I enjoy doing those. Those bring me gratification. But I want you to try to get in the mindset that that is not your top priority. Okay. So focus on the things that will bring you income, that will grow your business, and all the fluff and fun stuff can come later. So do those things when you have time, as time allows. But if you're spending all of your time on that, the important aspects of your business are getting lost in the mix. And then ultimately your business is going to suffer because of it. All right. So that's a little bit about being intentional. And I watched a really, really good video from Katie Lassiter. If you guys want to check it out, I think it's called like 15 minutes of intentional time. So like I said earlier, we all have different lives. Our schedules look totally different. Our priorities and obligations look totally different. So you have to tailor this to fit your life. But carve out small increments to work. So maybe you are not able to go to your office space or your kitchen table or wherever you work from and spend 2 or 3 hours a night. Okay, that's not realistic for most people's lives. But maybe you have a 30-minute lunch break. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I can send follow-ups on my phone and eat at the same time. Okay, I can multitask. Or when I get home in the afternoons, I don't know why, I don't have kids that I'm trying to avoid or anything like that, but when I get home, I sit in the car for like 15 minutes. on my phone doing something, that's time that I could be using to follow up. It's just something about sitting in the car in your driveway that's kind of just like, whew, okay, the day, my work day is over with. Whew, okay, I can relax a little bit now. So carve out increments of time, whether that be 15 minutes, maybe you have a 30-minute period that you could work. Maybe you want to work before your kids get up or after your kids go to bed, but use that time intentionally. I find myself a lot of times, again, I'm trying to work on it. I have spare time, but I waste it. I don't use it intentionally. So set reminder or an alarm on your phone if you need to, and say, okay, maybe at 7:30 every night, you're going to work for 15 minutes, hard and fast. Okay. And you're only going to do Scentsy. 15 minutes, set an alarm, 7:30, and then set you a timer for 15 minutes. When that timer goes off, stop, go and take care of your other family obligations. Yes, bring them with you, okay? Take your work with you wherever you have a spare moment, okay? Sitting in the bathroom at work, whatever you may have to do. If you need to get it done, you'll find time to get it done, like I said earlier. Turn do not disturb on your phone. I am the world's worst for sitting down and starting to work, and I'm in my mindset like, oh, I'm going to get some stuff done. I have time before John gets home. I'm going to get a lot done. But somehow I get distracted. I end up on Facebook, Instagram Reels, I'm texting people. So no matter how hard I try, if it's sitting beside of me, I'm going to get distracted. So what I have started doing is either I'll turn it on do not disturb, or I will leave it in a different room and I will come back here to work. So my phone is out of sight, out of mind. I don't pick it up. Some people, we hear parents a lot of times joke that they go to like their closet or whatever. My closet's not big enough to hide in, but parents go into like the closet or the bathroom or something to hide from their kids just to get a few minutes of free time. If that's what it takes for you to have a few minutes of free time to work your business, do what you got to do. Go sit in the car in the yard if you need to, okay? It does not have to be a long extended time. So maybe you can only do 15 minutes in the morning before school. Maybe you can do 15 minutes on your lunch break. Maybe you can do 15 minutes at night before you go to bed. But guess what? That adds up to 45 minutes over the course of the day. And if you're using that time intentionally and you're working hard and you're not being distracted, you can get so much accomplished in such a little bit of time. So remember back to the beginning when I said busy versus productive. You can get a lot accomplished. You can be very productive in a short amount of time, but you have to be intentional and smart with how you're using your time. So in order to work intentionally, you need to have a plan in place. So that is systems. We talk about systems all the time. It's kind of a guide, a roadmap to how you're going to work your business, and you have to stay on top of those systems all the time. I'm in the process of redoing my systems right now since Amy is shutting down. So as soon as I kind of get them tweaked and where I want them and get a better feel for them, I'm going to be sharing them with the group again. Maybe you are the type of person that makes a to-do list, whether it be on, I'm dropping everything. Maybe it's on a sticky note, or I've created literally a whole month's worth of tasks. I'll be glad to share this with you if you want. So I've got like day one, the things I need to do that day, day two, and it's the same for every month. I don't know how we can see this, but if there's ever anything extra I need to add, I can just write it in. I'll be glad to share this with you guys. Just let me know if you want it and you can tweak it to fit your needs. So systems, okay, Casey, I'll be glad to share that link with you guys. A to-do list on a sticky note in your phone, something like this, in your planner, something. Have something to work on. That was my problem, is when I came into work, I didn't really know where to start because I didn't have a plan in place. So I'd start working on a whole bunch of different things and then never get anything accomplished. Okay, Deandra, I'll share it with all you guys and I'll share it in the group as well. And then use what you have. So we're given so many resources that use them, take them, run with them, tweak them, make them your own. Use what you already have. Don't reinvent the wheel, okay? Let's see. I am almost finished, guys, and I'm out of breath. So working with intention. These are just a few other little tasks that you can do that you can use to be intentional with your time. So sampling with a purpose. Katie Lassiter did a training on this. It was one of my very first Scentsy trainings that I ever watched, and I loved it. It's I'm pretty sure it's called Sampling with a Purpose. So she is very intentional with the things that she samples, the scents that she chooses, and then how she follows up with people. Okay. So you can make all the cute samples and give them out, but if you're not following up with anybody, you're not going to get sales off of that. Okay. Very rarely is somebody going to call you up and say, oh, I love that dish soap sample that you sent me. I want to order it. Okay. They try the sample, they may love it, but guess what? That's in the back of their mind. Okay. They've got other things going on. But if you reach out to them and say, hey, Katie, I was just checking in to see how you like that dish soap. What did you think of the scent? Then she may be like, oh my gosh, I loved it. Can you please add me a bottle on your next order? Okay. Scentsy is on the forefront of our minds. It's not on the forefront of our customers' minds. So sampling with a purpose. Your follow-ups always need to be intentional. When I would follow up with customers, I would always check in and say, hey, Katie, how did you like your new fragrance flowers that you got? And, you know, based on what their response was, I would continue the conversation. One of the trainings that I was just watching, again, Katie Lassiter, I love her. She said in one of her trainings, she said she doesn't follow up like that. Okay. She does not even waste her time following up like that. She'll say, she immediately goes into like party mode, like hosting a party. Hey, how'd you like those fragrance flowers? And when the person says they loved them, she said, okay, how about we get you some for free? Okay. And then she leads into the partying thing. So it's like she doesn't even give them a chance to say no in a way. You know, she just kind of like hits them with it, and it's very successful for her. So I never thought about that, because a lot of times in my follow-up, I would never mention parties. I would be like, okay, great. I'm so glad you love it. Let me know if you ever need to order anything else. I was really bad for not planting that seed. I still am very bad. That's something that I'm working on. Not planting that seed of let's party and get you some for free. So she's very intentional with her follow-ups. Social media, we all find ourselves just mindlessly scrolling Facebook or Instagram. That's fine. If that is your way to decompress from the day, that is perfectly fine. But do it with intention. So as you're scrolling, watch out for people who are struggling. Those are people you might can reach out to about the opportunity. Reach out for people who are talking about how expensive gas and groceries are. Scentsy can help them with that. Your customers that you know, maybe their father just died, reach out to them. It's all about building those connections. So I always look to see who I can wish a happy birthday. I mean, it takes just a little bit of my time, but it can mean so much, and it helps build and establish those relationships. So as you're scrolling, look for ways that you can incorporate Scentsy into their life as well. Okay. But it has to start with a genuine relationship and building that connection. Don't just cold message somebody and say, hey, you want to join my team? I see you needed some extra gas money. Okay. That's not going to work. But you see that and make a mental note of that and start building that relationship, and then let that sponsoring or opportunity conversation just naturally flow. Branding yourself. So be intentional with the things that you're sharing, the things that you're wearing, the decals on your car, whatever. Okay. That is a great way to start up conversations. That is a great way to pique curiosity. So always brand yourself. I did a training on that as well. And then always have Scentsy on you. I hate getting called out in public if somebody asks me about Scentsy and I don't have any Scentsy on me. Like if I'm on my husband's truck and all my stuff is in my car. So I made a video about like a little mobile office that I carry around with me. If you guys want to check it out, it's on my YouTube. So always have Scentsy with you, being intentional. So when you are talking to somebody in conversation, if there's ever just like a little teeny tiny bit of space where you can slip a little nugget about Scentsy, do it. Okay. Be intentional. Share, share, share. Okay. And, you know, the conversation may evolve. And if you don't have Scentsy to give them, or if you don't have a business card, or if you have nothing Scentsy related, it kind of just puts a damper on the whole conversation. So always have Scentsy with you. So like I said earlier, work smarter, not harder. We have so many tools out there. Don't reinvent the wheel. So if you want the cute graphics, but you know you just don't have time to do it, join the Canva Scentsy Boss Babes group on Facebook. People share all of their creations, and there's so many wonderful resources out there. There's all sorts of graphic groups in Facebook, real life photos. So don't waste your time doing all of that stuff. If you don't have the time to do that, or if another part of your business is being neglected because you're so focused on graphics, grab those graphics from somewhere else. Somebody else has already made them for you. So don't reinvent the wheel. Use what you have. We also have apps like Visly. That's great for helping you run your Facebook parties. You can schedule posts so that if you get home and your kids are off the chain and you know you need to post in that party, you may not be able to right then. Okay, but if you have Visly or some sort of app that will do that for you, it's already taken care of. It's something off of your plate. You can dedicate your free time to something else. Project Broadcast, Boards has been wonderful for my business. I did a training on that as well. It is amazing. If you don't use Boards, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's free. Check that out. Hit them up to mass text all of your customers for communication. Maybe you use it for follow-ups or whatever. So we have all of these apps that can help us be more intentional with our time. So I want to leave you with this note. This business should not burn you out. I'm guilty of it. I got to that point in my business where I started questioning why I was doing this. And when I stopped and reflected, I realized that it's not because I don't love the company. I absolutely do. It's not because I don't like having to be a leader all the time. That's not the case. It's because I was literally running around in circles, not getting anything done. I felt overwhelmed. I was burnt out. I was discouraged because I wasn't being productive. I wasn't being intentional. And now that I have kind of realized that, I'm working on my mindset to change that. This business should not consume a whole bunch of our time. This business should not burn us out. We should not be getting discouraged. Scentsy is a happy place, right? And so I'm trying to be more mindful of that. This business is a blessing. It shouldn't be a hassle. Okay. So I just want to leave you with that. So if you're struggling like me, I hope some of these tips will help you being intentional, getting rid of distractions, turning off the TV, separating yourself from other people so you can focus, whatever you need to do. Remember, you can work this business however you want, whenever you want, anywhere you want. This business can be exactly what you want it to be. So I want to leave you guys with that tonight. I wish you nothing but wonderful blessings in your business. We are getting ready to enter into the biggest season with Scentsy. So hang on tight. Fall is always amazing. Big things happen in fall. So I'm going to leave you guys with that tonight. Again, thank you for being on. If you have any questions, please let me know and I'll be glad to help in any way I can. So have a good night. Have a good rest of the week and a great weekend. I'll talk to you guys later.